Hello and welcome back to the studio. I'm Dr. Wiggo. And today, is Siri AI actually good? Is this the smart Siri we've been waiting for? Apparently yes. In the next chapter, I will show you some examples of some tech people and YouTubers who have been using it live in the field, not Apple demos. Then the second chapter, I'll do a little overview of the architecture the way Apple explained it, which may or may not be a good explanation. It seems okay, but you be the judge. And then in the final chapter, I'll talk about what does this mean for us as Apple users and technology users and maybe AI users. Let's start with some examples. At WWDC last week, Apple released Developer Beta 1, which a lot of people said was more like a Beta 3 for those of you in the know. And YouTubers and journalists and normal people have been getting their hands on it. So I picked a few to show you. Joanna Stern, who used to be at the Wall Street Journal and has gone out on her own and has her own channel, and I will link that down below, along with the video I'm going to be showing you some clips from. She has spent the last year both with the Wall Street Journal and on her own channel trying out AI and robots, so she's looked at a lot of AI. Here's one of the examples she tried. She asked Siri AI a question about her kids.
I'd like to get some souvenirs for the kids. Based on what you know about them, what should I get them here?
Then 10 seconds later, because Siri AI is still a little slow, got this answer.
Based on what I know about Noah and Alex, here are a few souvenir ideas from Santa Cruz.
And then she asked,
Siri, that is pretty dead on. How did you know that information about my kids? Siri says it knows this because I had a message from my uncle on May 31st.
That's one of the notable things about Siri AI is you can ask it, how did you come up with that answer? And it will show you what it looked at. Try that with some other AI models. Mark Ellis of Mark Ellis Reviews here on YouTube, who is a tech YouTuber in the UK, and his channel and the full video that I'm about to show you clips from will be linked down below. In this video, he had just installed it an hour before shooting the video, so his indexing had just begun. It was barely off the ground, and he asked a really rambling question. Here.
What was that quote I got from a car specialist, a Land Rover specialist? They quoted me for something. I can't remember what it was that I asked for, and I can't remember what the price was.
It was only 5 seconds later that he got the right answer.
I've not told it to go anywhere, it's just, okay.
Note that it was from an email from January, and again, indexing had just begun. So I'd call this one a success too. Stephen Robles, a YouTuber and Apple shortcuts expert who has made some outstanding videos about how to do shortcuts on Apple products, which you don't need to watch anymore because now Siri AI will create shortcuts for you. Again, the full video will be linked down below, and this is all with the first beta version. Well, Stephen did this query.
This is an Instagram story I screenshotted. The name of the business is not in the image, but there is a number and a logo for a coffee place. I asked it to get directions to this coffee place, and mind you, I'm asking it this while I'm in California, so it doesn't even have current location access for context, and it still found the coffee shop and immediately opened directions.
I don't know about you, but that was pretty impressive to me because, again, the name of the company wasn't in the picture. How did it figure it out? And all of these were with Developer Beta 1, the first version. So apparently the consensus so far is that yes, Siri AI is really good. Joanna Stern said on the Daring Fireball show after WWDC that it's a true personal assistant, and I will link that video also down below. Personally, I'll just be glad if it finally understands me. I've had a lot of trouble with Siri over the years. Moving on to the architecture of Apple Intelligence and Siri AI, in the WWDC keynote, Craig Federighi explained the architecture of Apple Intelligence. It starts with you and your devices, and the first layer is the Apple Foundation models, which they go to great lengths to explain were updated through their agreement with Google using the Gemini models to create the next generation Apple Foundation models. If you watch the Daring Fireball video below, you'll know that they had to because the early models kind of sucked. These Apple Foundation models run on device and also in a private cloud compute. Then they layer on these modalities of image, voice, and text. Then they add on capabilities of personal context, world knowledge, actions, and on-screen awareness. These are all important concepts that were demonstrated in the keynote if you want to go back and watch that, which will also be linked down below. Then the system orchestrator works across these capabilities, and then comes the top layer, where you have Siri, apps, and system-wide experiences. And they stress that either on device or in the private cloud compute, your data is secure. Your data is not stored except on your device and is only used in the cloud to execute your request and then erased. It looks very well thought out. So what does it mean to us? Well, Nilay Patel from The Verge had a really great quote, which I could not locate again, scrubbing through all these videos I've been watching over the last week. So paraphrasing Nilay, AI company strategy is massive infrastructure, causing all the issues I talked about in my AI video, which is linked up here, designed to be cloud only and device independent. So this is where we get into this stuff about pendants and rings and all sorts of ways you could access it that are not devices, which the AI companies could use to cut Apple out of the equation. Apple's strategy is instead for local models on your device with some cloud processing, very device dependent, both for data and for some processing. And when you look at it that way, my feeling is that Apple's approach is better. It's less resource intensive. You use your own devices to power much of it. Not all, it still goes out and uses other things. But it uses Google's infrastructure for the big models, and it's much more privacy focused. The AI company's approach will put all of your data in the cloud. With Google Apps, most of your data is already there in the cloud, making Gemini actually the next best option for privacy. Remember, Google doesn't sell your data. They only sell targeted ads based on your data. They will never sell your data because it's their competitive advantage. What it comes down to is Apple wants to sell you hardware, and these Apple Intelligence features are supposed to make their hardware more valuable to you. Google wants to serve you targeted ads. How do OpenAI, Anthropic, and the rest of those companies want to make money off of you? Do they even know? They're all losing money. How are they going to recoup it? Remember, when things are free, they're making money off of you some other way, and you may not want to find out what that is. So that's my take. If you're deep in the Apple ecosystem like I am, Siri AI could be the greatest thing since sliced bread, because you'll finally have a true personal assistant that can find things in old emails and buried in your calendar. But if you use Gmail, Google Calendars, and all the other Google apps, you may be better off using Gemini. But as a consumer, I would be extremely wary of the other AI companies. Are you willing to sell your soul for a better AI model? I'm not. I'm going to stick with Siri AI to be my AI assistant. And that's it for today. Thanks for stopping by. See you next time. Bye-bye, and we'll talk about something else next week. Thanks for staying to the end. Bye-bye.